Jake, you must be really, really proud of your pack. I mean, that's a young pack of guys, and I mean, no one would ever say the SAA team ever had any sort of forward dominance or forward platform. I mean, they definitely matched them all the way.
Yeah, Ken, as I said earlier, I'm very excited about the fact that we tried different combinations, and the forward pack are young. You look at a guy like Ruan Nokia, young, and Morne Smith, young. I mean, Jan Hendrik Wessels, young. You know, even a guy like Gerard Steenkamp isn't an old seasoned prop forward. So, yeah, to have them, and then Via Steenkamp, who's a youngster, I mean, just come out of under 21s, Miller Ace, who's also just graduated out of the junior ranks, is fantastic for us. So, yeah, it's all about creating some depth. It's all about getting some players to play in different combinations, and I'm really happy that forward pack, we're able to play, and I'm stressing it again, Ken, play a different kind of game to what we've been doing before. There was a lot of times we got caught behind the scrum trying to move the ball away, and I thought Yakurana was outstanding there by reading the situation. And I mean, that's why I suppose, he has won a World Cup and he understands how much pressure he can put on a young guy. But I thought Vieira got it right towards the end, and Miller Ace got it right towards the end. So we were able to vary a lot of things with that pack. And the nice thing was that the constant was that they were physical and that they didn't back down to the physical contest as well, which is always a bonus for us.
Jack, I was just wondering if I could perhaps get some input from you on one of your real unsung heroes. I mean, you've mentioned how well the pack played as collective, and I think that's undeniable. But a guy like Johan Grobelaar, comes on, in the right place at the right time for that second try. 2 turnovers. He really has become like a real unsung hero of your pack.
Yeah, he has, Heinz. And to be fair, he's also a youngster. He's also just graduated out of the juniors. I think that one thing I have learned is that front row of Gerard Steenkamp and Grobbies and Morne Smith have excelled as a combination as well. That's why it was easy at halftime to bring on the props and play them together, because it goes hand in hand with what I said earlier. When you've got a combination working and you can keep them together, the more they play together, the more they understand each other. So it's not only the fact that he's that he's good at the breakdown. It's also the fact that he's getting a better understanding, even in the scrumming and in the set pieces. He's throwing. I know he lost one line out there, but that's improved significantly as well, because the more he plays with guys like Walt and Ruan and those sort of players, I'm sure the better he's going to become.
Jake, just on that score with your front row, Matanzima, we've spoken about Matanzima in the press conference earlier the week. You must be really satisfied with his work rate, and specifically standing up to Koch. Just your version on that, please.
As I said, Simon, he did Achilles, and I was probably not fortunate enough to see him from the beginning, and he's come in as a late, obviously a late addition to our squad. Even though he has been signed with us, he's basically now starting to play rugby week in and week out. So very happy. I mean, he scrummed against Vincent Koch, who's been phenomenal, not only in the Springbok jersey, also for Saracens. So, I'm sure the learnings he would have got today, not only the running around and the pressure he got on his carries, because let's be fair, one thing about the Springboks, they've got incredible line speed, and they're very, very good at keeping you out. So he would have felt the pressure of carrying into a wall like they do in South Africa. But I think more importantly for me is that the learnings he got today, scrumming-wise, against a guy like Vincent Koch, who, as I said, has been around and has learned lots playing in the Northern Hemisphere.
Following up on the line speed remark that you've just made, Jake, that must have been a learning curve, and that's obviously the difference between franchise rugby and international rugby. I suppose that this has been a tremendous learning curve for your squad based on that.
Simon, that's the one thing that gets harder as you move up the ladder, is that you get less time and less space to make a decision. So, if you look at school rugby to club rugby to to under 21 rugby, to provincial rugby, to Springbok rugby, all that happens is your skill sets have to be so good that the more or the less time you have and the less space you have, you're still good enough to actually execute those skills. And so, I thought today, and I'm sure you watched the game and you would have seen the intricacies, but to get around the Springboks a couple of times we dropped the ball once or twice with a couple of overlaps there and creating some opportunities. we got a great understanding about, how you can beat the line speed, and that's why, it's going to be good for us, because when teams do play like that against us, whether they, overseas-based teams or Currie Cup teams, we're not going to get too many better lessons than what we got today in that first sort of 40 minutes, because they came at us. We were camping on their try line. We just couldn't break their defensive line, and I thought in the second half, when we made a couple of changes and we spoke a little bit at halftime, we started to get a little bit more space on the edges, and then once we got around them, then we could keep the ball and build some pressure. So yeah, Simon, it's a great learning curve for us to play against a team that defends as aggressively and as you say, with a great line speed, because we got just reward at times, and that is always going to be nice, because our skills are getting better.